One cold, foggy morning in February, a London housewife named Sarah gave birth to a second child. Upon hearing the doctor announce, "It's a girl," Sarah smiled and then lapsed into unconsciousness. When she awakened, the nurse was nearby. "Was the baby healthy?" Sarah asked. The answer was yes. "How much did the baby weigh?" Sarah wanted to know. The answer was 8.5 pounds. "And was she beautiful?" The nurse was silent. Then Sarah, suddenly anxious, asked if she could see her baby. The nurse said yes, of course she could, but she said, "Sarah, you better take some nourishment first." So Sarah got some broth, and then the nurse brought in her little girl. As the tiny bundle was placed in her arms, Sarah gasped, because inside the cashmere shawl was, well, the funniest looking little baby Sarah had ever seen. The infant had black hair, but some of it was in the wrong places. For example, her ears were covered with thick black fuzz, and the baby's ears were squashed into the sides of her head, and her nose was tipped out of kilter, and her tiny face was so tightly closed that it seemed it would never unfold. And somehow, as only mothers can, Sarah blamed herself. Her mother had told her, if you want a beautiful baby, keep your mind full of beautiful thoughts. Sarah had done that during her first pregnancy, and that first child, a little boy named Howard, wow. Now 3, he was almost too beautiful for words. His hair was thick, a mass of golden ringlets, his eyes were long-lashed and heavenly blue, and his face was the face of a Botticelli angel. But this newly arrived little girl? Oh my! Perhaps Sarah pondered that she had been lazy and not been thinking enough beautiful thoughts this time around. In any case, all she could do now was to protect her newborn from ridicule as best she could and pray that her long black hair would grow only where it was supposed to. Yet, not even that prayer was answered. For before long, the hair on the infant's ears had spread to her back and on her arms. And the scrunched up, funny little face grew even funnier. And the family and friends, they hardly helped matters at all. Over and over, Sarah would wince when she heard, "Poor little girl, it's too bad that she isn't the boy and Howard the girl." And it was as though the baby knew. For more than 10 days after her birth, she kept her eyes tightly closed. And for a year thereafter, she refused to make a single sound. But Mother Sarah grew determined that regardless of the baby's appearance, she would never want for love. And indeed, in Sarah's eyes, the child actually grew to be beautiful. And in the eyes of the world as well. You know the song, "You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby"? Well, that ain't necessarily so. For it was not until later that the peculiar body hair from this little baby vanished, and the pearly teeth appeared, and the intense violet eyes became prominent, and the human mosaic fell all into place to produce one of the 20th century's most breathtaking women. Her mother thought you ought to know, particularly if your own baby doesn't look quite like the ones in the television ads, because her baby, Sarah Southern Taylor's baby, one day it would be known the world over as the beautiful Elizabeth Taylor. So, what success lessons can we draw from this transformational story of Elizabeth Taylor, who became the world's highest paid movie star in the 1960s and one of America's Film Institute's top 10 greatest female screen legends of classic Hollywood cinema? I think a few. Number 1, just like success, beauty evolves over time. Elizabeth Taylor's transformation from a funny-looking infant into a celebrated beauty illustrates how, like success, beauty grows and evolves over time. This applies to your initial projects, products, ideas, and ventures. While they might initially be funny, be ridiculed, and laughed at, while they might not seem promising at the start, with unwavering commitment and nurturing, they may develop into something extraordinary, something celebrated. Number 2, the power of belief. Sarah's belief in her daughter's inherent worth, despite others' criticisms, opinions, or ridicule. This underscores the power of having someone believe in you and reminds us that leaders, how important it is that we repeatedly remind and reinstill that belief in those we lead. And one way to do that right now is to send them this Darren Daily. Maybe include a note with it that says, "I believe in you." And number 3, transformation is possible for everyone. Elizabeth Taylor's story is a testament to the fact that transformation and success are possible for everyone, regardless of their starting point in life. So, regardless of where you are starting at right now, because you're here, I believe in you. We will continue to evolve and grow you better every day. And with commitment, discipline, and this ongoing nurturing, you can transform yourself to be as successful as you want. It starts with you believing in you. If you do, write #IBelieveInMe in the comments below.